Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Dicing with Death. So, southward we ride.
Southward we ride to Wiston.
Dum bum bum bum
You
bum
know
bum bum.
very little about this town. You just have heard that it is the southern end of a wagon trail that Ad Bradley Bronson and his men have been hitting. So you ride south. Do you go? Which way around the hills do you go?
Are there
So just south,
hills?
yeah, just south of the river's end. There's hills. Um,
I will take the eastern route around the hills.
are you smart enough to know east from west?
Yeah,
Left
the
or
sun
right?
rises in the east, sets in the west. Right? Or does it rise
Really?
in the west or set in the east?
Is it always the same every day?
It's gotta be the same every day. There's a saying, when the sun rises in the something and sets in the something, then something will happen. It's
In any
always,
case, the sun's over that away.
I think it rises in the east. You know what? Let's go towards the sun.
Okay. Yeah, so you skirt around the hills,
Yeah.
tucked up in which is the mine that Missy Calhoun may or may not be currently occupying.
Yeah. You know,
Um,
Roy thinks to himself, if Bad Bradley Bronson is maybe a little too much for him to handle, he might be able to convince Missy Calhoun that it's in her best interest to bring him to justice, or at least bring him down. Maybe he can play both sides against the center. But that's, that's for another day. Hopefully he can do it on his own. Doesn't really trust Missy Calhoun to do anything that's not in her own best interest, and he's not sure how if he can actually play her. She's a pretty smart lady, and while Roy may have a good heart in him, he's not the most clever man. So he'll try and take Bad Bradley Bronson himself.
all right. So to your left is the sun and the open expanse of desert. To your right, the hills and that mine and the site of that horrible massacre. Where do you direct your horse?
South?
Yeah. Due south? Do you hug the hills? Do you give them a wide berth?
So I will. I'm not gonna I will kind of hug the hills.
Okay.
No, you know what? Missy Calhoun and her folks are up in those hills. Maybe I should give them a little bit of space. I'll keep like a mile between myself and the hills, enough that if something's coming out of them, I'll have plenty of time to see it.
Okay.
And enough that I'll be out of sort of the range of any modern weapon. And then I'll just head southward, kind of fall on the edge of the hills, hoping that I run into either Wiston or some, what they call them, the wagon trail.
Yeah, roll a perception check.
28.
Okay. So you are veering a little off track, but you catch out of your eye a well-worn section of sand off to your right some ways. This is once you pass the hill. The hills are behind you.
Mm-hmm.
You're sort of just on open plain.
Mm-hmm.
So you catch yourself before you get lost. And you do find a sort of, I wouldn't say a path or a road, but some
Etchings
a
in the
well-worn
ground.
section. A bit of a path, yeah.
Yeah.
The route south.
I follow along that trail and head towards the town.
All right. How fast are you pushing it? Or how encumbered is your horse? Are you carrying any food for your horse, or
No, because they told me I could make it in a day. And Roy
believe what
believed
everyone
him.
tells you?
He believed him. He's maybe a little naive in some ways.
Yeah. So how encumbered is your horse? How quickly are you moving?
Hold on, I'm trying to add up the weight. 232, 436, 39. Let's call it 40 pounds on top of me. So it's like 200 pounds that the horse is carrying. A horse can carry 180 pounds. So my horse is lightly encumbered.
Okay.
So I guess it moves at half, which is 12. So I'll probably... Yeah, if my horse is moving at 12 when I'm riding, and I'll ride
The
it.
horse does not have intermediate encumbrances. Oh wait,
It has full, half, and quarter. If you use the...
I thought we had house ruled that you could do
I think that
3/4 in there or something.
I think that makes more sense.
Okay. So we'll say you're moving at movement rate 18.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
So the first half of the day passes uneventfully. Do you have a water skin even?
I do.
Okay.
I'll use about... I think horses are not as good as camels at saving water, but they do have pretty good water retention. They also don't sweat. We lose a lot of water through our sweat.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, horses do sweat, don't they?
I think they sweat.
Yeah, horses totally sweat. But they're pretty good at water retention. So I'll use half my water skin for myself and, splash some in my horse's mouth every now and then.
Mm-hmm. All right. Odds or evens?
Odds. I always take the long odds.
All right. Cool. So movement rate 18. You can double that though, right? You move double that in a day.
Right.
You can move 36 miles in a day.
Yeah. But
Okay.
I'm walking my horse part way too. I'm not gonna
Okay.
push Winnie. I don't want to break her.
Okay. So a little after noon, you catch sight of some dust on the horizon.
Pause. Shield my eyes against the
Directly
sun.
south. So the sun is straight overhead.
Yeah. I've got my brown hat on. My white hat is tied to the saddle somehow. So I don't need to shield my eyes if I've got my big wide-brimmed hat. And I move in that direction, I guess. If it's due south and the town was supposed to be due south, then maybe that's a dust storm from the town. Maybe it's the riders headed into or out of town. Either way, that seems to be a good landmarker. What?
Roll a perception check.
Yeah, 27.
Yeah. You spot a lone rider cresting a hill some ways ahead, maybe half mile out.
Mm-hmm. I take care to take a bolt out of my crossbow. Start to prep the crossbow. I don't, fully lock it, but I make sure that there's a bolt right next to it.
Crossbow's visible then?
Yeah, I carry it over my shoulder. I got my bandolier going this way, then I have my crossbow slung the other way.
Yeah. The rider is wearing a bright green cloak, flapping in the breeze.
All right. I mosey on horseback towards him, slowly. Give him a tip of the hat when he comes within hat-tipping range.
Yeah.
I presume there is an official hat-tipping range.
Yeah. I don't know what it is. 300 feet?
A little far.
Okay.
It's a football field.
All right, 50 feet.
There we go. I think that sounds more reasonable.
He rides past without paying you notice unless you flag him down.
I take a look at his face. Does he have a big scar on it or a black bandana?
He does not. He's got a green hat to go with his green cloak and a neatly trimmed salt and pepper beard, which you just catch a glimpse of as he rides past at a reasonable pace. Not
Salt
a
and pepper
gallop
beard?
like that. What's that?
Salt and pepper beard, you say?
Yeah.
And he's headed north.
Mm-hmm. Are you just noting down the appearance of everyone you pass by?
Maybe. For some people, I'll eventually lose these notes. But green cloaked figure, salt and pepper beard. I give him a hat tip. He ignores me. You know.
I guess he hat tipped in response.
Okay. All right.
He rides past. Yeah. Does that change everything?
Yeah. I don't need those notes anymore. I don't say any words to him.
Mael, the governor was the word I was looking for earlier. I don't know that it was bothering anyone else. The governor of the region was notified that the sheriff was dead.
So I keep on headed southward to Wiston.
Yeah. Roll another perception check.
14. Oof.
Encounters are way less fun when you don't notice them. And you just ride on past. Yeah. So late afternoon, you spot a walled city coming into view, a walled town.
Oh. I don't think I ever seen a walled city before, Roy thinks to himself.
You lived in this area your whole life and never been 100 miles south? I guess that seems reasonable.
Yeah. Well, wonder what sort of things in here. Is it a stone wall, a wood wall?
A wooden wall. Must have brought this wood a long way.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking. Out here in this desert, this must be a mighty wealthy town if they could afford to haul out all this wood. I trot up to the gate. I hope I see a gate.
Yeah, there's a gate.
Okay. I trot up to it. Is it open? Closed?
The gate is closed.
Take off my hat and give it a wave to see if anyone notices it.
You hear a shunk as a little viewing slot opens up at the base of the wall.
Howdy.
Howdy, partner. What's your business?
Oh, I'm here looking for news about Bad Bradley Bronson. I'd like to try my hand at the bounty, and I hear he's been sighted in this area.
Foolish one, aren't you? Well, come on in.
Okay. I mosey on up to the gate, wait for them to open it.
The creak. The gate doors swing outward? Outward.
I ask for directions to the sheriff's station.
He points like literally across the street. It's like the first building inside the gate. There's about 20 feet between the wall and the building.
Much obliged there, sir.
Gives you a nod.
I make my way to the sheriff's station.
Mm-hmm. All right. There's a couple of young men on the porch, laughing brazenly. One of them spits into a bucket. Glares in your direction as you walk by.
All right. I tie my horse up to the post. I hitch my horse to the post.
When you come within hat tipping range, the non-spitter tips his hat in your direction.
I tip my hat back.
All right. You step into the sheriff's office.
I do.
All right. A rotund man who you can only assume to be the sheriff is sitting behind a desk. He's got a big gold star on his lapel. And
Howdy there, Sheriff.
handlebar mustache. Feet up on the table. Well, howdy do. There's another deputy in here as well.
I'm looking for any information you might have on Bad Bradley Bronson. And come asking if that bounty on him is and his men are still the same, or has that gone up?
Sheriff gives you the up and down. You want to describe Roy for us right now?
Yeah.
Give you a roll a charisma check.
So Roy is kind of short. He's 5'5", 158 pounds. He's got brown eyes and dirty, blondish, brownish, short hair. He's a dude. He is about 31 years old. He wears breeches, a brown leather vest over a blue long-sleeve shirt with a wide-brimmed brown hat. He's got boots, spurs, a big heavy belt, a lasso on his left hip, a whip on his right hip next to a dagger, and he's got a couple of coin purses. One of them is almost empty. The other is almost empty. And he's got a bandolier across his chest with room for 20 bolts, but there's only 5 bolts in him, kind of like centered around the middle of his chest.
So much detail. All right, so you sound like a pretty standard-looking dude. Mm-hmm. Roll a charisma check. I like Big Bear's suggestion. You should roll initiative each time you meet someone to know who tips their hat first.
Ooh, 29 on the charisma.
Yeah, so you're looking like a bad dude. Bandolier of bolts and all. Mm-hmm. You fancy yourself a bounty hunter? Don't think I recognize you.
Not the sort of man who likes labels. I just do what I need to do to get by.
What'd you say your name was?
Roy.
Well, Roy. Bradley Bronson's been hitting our supply train every couple of weeks, different spots. Not sure where his hideout is, or what he's doing with the loot. If I did, I'd hunt him down myself.
Well,
Elia, you're certainly welcome to try, and that bounty is still in effect. Was it 100 gold?
It was 150 before.
150, all right. Up to 160 after his latest heist.
What about Furious Tate and Horatio? They still sitting at 25?
Furious Tate? Is that his name? I come up with good names, don't I?
I told you, I'm very envious of your naming abilities.
Oh yeah, I got that down. He looks through some kind of ledger and gives a nod. Yep. 25 gold.
Well,
known associates of Bradley's.
I've found myself Horatio, put a crossbow bolt through him and a dagger through his chest. He's sitting up in River's End, but the deputy there, he ain't got the coin to pay me for the bounty.
Well, not that I don't trust you and all, but no body, no bounty. Just sent a ranger up to River's End. I reckon he'll be able to pay that bounty out. Coin will probably be waiting for you when you get back.
How long ago you sent that ranger?
A word came in a few days ago, but I think he just got out this morning.
I nod.
He'd been out of ranging.
Well enough. Well, I hear Mr. Bronson has been hitting wagons on the road, headed northward from Wiston to some place called Figueroa.
Gives a nod. You heard right.
Is that a mountain town somewhere?
Yeah, you guessed it right. Up in the northeast. Foothills of the Great Spine.
Well, I don't suppose you could point me in the direction of a place I could get some supplies for myself and my horse before we head out and bring this man to justice.
I'd recommend Howie's General.
Howie's General?
Down the road. Yeah, you take a walk down the main street. Can't miss it.
Howie's General. Mighty fine of you, Sheriff. Say, you don't know how many men he runs with. Any of these, encounters ever have survivors? Can speak to the number of folks who've been riding with him lately?
Occasionally a couple make it out alive. But he didn't earn the name Bad for nothing.
Any of them survivors here in town I could, speak to?
Sure. Howie's son actually used to run the supplies train until he took a crossbow to the knee. He's been the same ever since.
Thank you, Sheriff. What'd you say your name was?
I didn't. The name's Gimbal. Sheriff Gimbal. Ben Gimbal.
Ben Gimbal.
He stands up laboriously, lets out a sigh, and
stick out my hand.
Good to meet you.
Roy.
Name Roy. Bounty Hunter Roy.
As I said, I'm not one for labels.
He gives a look to the deputy. He's been silent this time.
I'll be off then, Sheriff, and I head out to Howie's General.
Yeah. You walk down the street.
Mm-hmm.
See a big store with the front sort of opens up, so it's kind of like a, I don't know, double wide entrance. There's a sign flapping in the breeze. If only you could read. But you assume it's got to be the store, considering they're selling things and all.
Right. I step on in and look around for a proprietor or someone who looks to be in charge. Maybe a middle-aged or older gentleman, if his son was sending the supplies.
Yeah, there's a middle-aged man, striped shirt, with an apron. He's bald on top, and he's got little curly poof side things coming. Things being hair.
Right. I stride on over to him. Say, you Howie?
Howie's the name. Welcome to my fine establishment. What can I help you with?
I'm looking to talk to your boy.
Boots? Ah. Well, Wendell ain't been right in the head lately.
Well, that's what I'm here to speak to him about.
What do you mean?
I'm looking for Bad Bradley Bronson, and I was hoping your boy here could tell me a little bit about him.
I don't see a badge.
Nope, no badge.
Well, who are you then?
I'm Roy. Roy from the North. And I'm here to bring that man to justice and collect the bounty on his head. Dead or alive.
Well, Wendell! Wendell! This man here wants to see you. What are you? Some sort of bolt slinger? He looks to the bandolier around your shoulder. Think
You
you're
might call me
faster
that.
than think you're faster than Bradley?
Oh, I don't know too much about speed there. But it's up in here what counts.
That's what I always say.
In your heart.
That's why I stay home
Yeah.
here behind those walls. That's the smart thing to do if you ask me. Wendell, damn it, where are you, boy? He goes out back.
I give him a follow.
Okay. You walk out the back of the store. There's a back porch, and there's a boy sitting off the edge of the porch.
Wendell, I say to him.
You see the boy's only got one leg. His left leg is amputated just above the knee. And he's sort of swinging his right leg off the edge of the balcony and staring at his foot.
How old does this kid look?
He looks young. You guess maybe 15, 16. He's
I
got
look
the same
to
curly hair of his father, although it's still black and still covers the top of his head.
Howie and go, You send a boy that age to trade supplies? A little young, don't you think?
Well, that's what I thought, but he said he's a man grown, can make his own decisions. Look at him now. Wendell, he says, putting his hand on the boy's shoulder. This man here wants to speak with you. The boy continues staring at his foot.
I hop down off the back side of the porch and come to stand at him so I'm facing him. Take off my hat, set it down on the porch next to him and go, Wendell, I'm here for Bad Bradley Bronson. Got some questions to ask you.
He kind of quivers, and then he looks up at you.
Hoping your answers can bring this ruffian to justice. You know how many men he's got with him?
He looks you, well, at your eyes, but he seems to look right through you. Roll a charisma check. It's your highest stat, isn't it? Oh.
It is my highest stat.
He just looks right through you.
Son, you...
Bit of drool drips off his wispy mustache. He's silent.
Son, you know how many folks he's got with him? Just him? He's got a whole posse? You know what color horse he rides?
To rock gently. Black horse. Spits fire. Oh, it burns. It burns. He clutches his left stump.
He have anybody with him? Just him? Some other people?
Black horse. Bad man. He's a bad man.
I take my hat and put it back on, step away, look to Howie and go, well, thank you, sir. I'll be needing some traveling supplies.
Sure, why don't I help you out front?
Yeah.
He pats the boy on the shoulder, and you two walk out to the front of house.
I put a platinum piece down on the counter. Kind of twirl it back and forth in a circle.
His eyes light up. Um, he doesn't say anything, plays it cool, and begins to box up.
I'll need
What do
a
you need? Rations?
need a.
Boats?
How far is it to Figueroa?
About 100 miles. It'll take you.
4 days? 5 days?
They usually take near a week to do the run. Lone man on horseback, maybe you could do it quicker.
I nod. All right. Well, I'll need supplies for myself and Winchester to get there, and half again as many in case we get part way and need to come back with a couple of bodies, or have a captive or two.
Say again?
Half again as many supplies as it would take a lone rider to get to Figueroa. I trust you to sort out the rest.
Yeah, he starts loading up crates with food supplies,
Okay.
like some wooden flats or whatever.
Right. I'll need some water, skins,
Righto.
and I guess that's about it. Perhaps you could point me to a place I can rest for the day before I head out. Morning.
Yeah. Winston Hall is a fine saloon and hotel. It's in the center of town. Only 3-story building. You can't miss it.
Appreciate that. I ain't too good with the letters, you know? I hand him the platinum piece. So how much does that come out to? Or how much change does he get?
So he gives you 2 weeks of rations, 3 water skins, wait. Is there anything else you want other than food?
Food,
Oats?
water, and oats for my horse? Or anything for my horse?
So we're looking at 1 gold. Seven. He doesn't give you any change. Do you ask for a breakdown or for change or anything like that?
Yeah,
Or?
when I hand him the platinum piece and he doesn't hand me anything back.
Well, I mean,
I
so
give
you
him
put the platinum piece on the counter beforehand, and he
Right.
asked you. So you get 2 weeks worth of rations. He gives you 3 water skins, and then like several sacks of oats.
Right.
And I assume you have him help you lash it all up to the horse.
Sure. And then when he doesn't give me change, I kind of stare at him blankly and say, "That wasn't no silver piece, sir."
He nods, says, I know, I cut you a deal. So it's 6 gold for the rations, 24 silver for the water, and 2 gold for the horse, or for the feed, for the oats.
I say, pushing back my hat.
Was there
Or taking off the hat and scratching my head.
anything else you had asked for?
No, that's it.
Yeah, so I think that's already 10 gold and 4 silver.
This place is getting expensive.
Those are standard prices.
I don't doubt you're pulling, or I don't think you're a dishonest man in any way. I'm just not used to this sort of living.
Look, I see you got that 1 shooter right there. I just got some bolts in from the Fletcher. Why don't I fill up that bandolier there for you? Free of charge.
Thank
You're
you.
going after Bad Bronson. Well, that's the best I can do.
17, 18, 19, 20. I thank him and empty out my silver, the remaining 5 silver from my coin purse, like making a show of dumping out the remaining coins and just hand them over to him.
Oh, no, that's fine.
I don't take charity, sir. This is the best I can do.
Consider it a bulk discount.
Thank you. I repocket my 5 silver. My other bag has 17 copper in it. And the gemstone, which I keep in my copper pouch.
Mm-hmm.
In case anyone tries to take the silver, all the wealthy stuff, they're going to miss the gemstone. Because somehow Roy thinks people might know which bag he carries different types of coins in. So in his mind, Anyway, I finish up these things, and I go to Wiston Hall, and I take a night and some food, pay out the last of my silver to this place, and then quietly thank the gods that he didn't take my last 5 silver, otherwise I wouldn't be able to afford a night here.
I'm sure they would have taken your gem.
And I am ready to set out in the morning for Bad Bradley Bronson. The baddest man in town. Except for what's her name?
Right?
Missy Calhoun. I guess Bad Bradley Bronson's got a bigger bounty on his head than she does.
Yeah, although Missy just killed the sheriff. Who knows?
Yeah, that's about to spike up, I'm sure.
All right.
I just know that I can't take Missy Calhoun and her men because she's got way too many.
So do you spend the night drinking at Wiston Hall?
I do. I ask around.
Plans.
I tell of my plans. I ask around if anyone's got more information about him. If they know if he travels with anyone. If they know what he looks like, other than he rides a black horse and has a black bandana. Any distinguishing features?
Yeah. Never shows his face. Man in Black, they call him. At least I think so.
Odd.
Merciless son of a bitch. I heard he leaves no survivors. You idiot. If he left no survivors, how do we even know he exists? It's like, well, I don't know. Rumors and whatnot? Well, how can you hear a rumor if there's no one alive to tell it? It's like, adult, what was the general store guy's name?
Howie.
Yeah. Howie's son got hit and lived to tell the tale. I heard he don't tell much of a tale. And, yeah, the rumors goes on. You tell them that you're planning on going after.
Mm-hmm.
You must got a death wish, son.
Just poor is all.
Well, I've never had a drink with a dead man. I'm buying around.
Mighty obliged. I take his drink happily.
Mm-hmm.
Get ready to go for the next morning, unless they have any more information about the people he's traveling with or what he looks like. The bandana covering the face is good to know.
Yeah. I saw 2 known associates on the wanted posters outside the sheriff.
Oh? Well, that would be Horatio and Furious Tate. I already brought one of them down. The other one eludes me.
I don't know. I don't know their names. Sounds about right. Furious? If I was bad. If I was a bandit, I'd want a guy on my side named Furious.
Tell me about it. Anywho!
I hear he's got a dozen men he rides with him. Nah. He's only got 6, but one of them's a skeleton. But Skeletons ain't real. What you talking about? Yes, they are. I saw one once.
Now, we all know that skeletons don't walk up from the dead. Once a man's good and buried, he's good and buried. I ain't seen no witchcraft in all my days riding around these parts. That's just a tall tale meant to scare children.
You so sure about that? An old drunk shouts. Why, we had a warlock pass through town not 3 weeks ago.
Sir, what you had was a charlatan who swindled you.
He was quiet-like, but...
All the best charlatans are.
His footprints, they singe the ground.
You got any proof? Any black marks where he walked? That's what I thought.
Nah, but I saw the skeleton he raised.
Mm-hmm.
Right here in Wiston.
Anyone here can collaborate your tall tale?
Oh, don't mind Harold. He's been drunk for the last 3 years.
That's what I thought. All right, well, I better
Ever since his wife passed, he ain't been the same.
Death of a spouse is a terrible thing. Bound to drive a man crazy. Make him say and maybe even see things that ain't really there.
What did I say the sheriff's name was? Ben
Gimble.
Gimble.
Anywho, I gotta be going to bed. Got a date with death tomorrow. See who blinks first. I tip my hat to all the gentlemen.
Cheers to the dead man.
Good day, y'all. And I head upstairs to my quiet room where I try to go to bed and fear.
Wendell? Is that how he's son?
Wendell, yeah. Go to bed and fear the morning, thinking that maybe this isn't gonna work. Maybe I am gonna die. Who knows?
Well, you fall asleep to the sounds of the raucous saloon below. And I guess that seems like a good time to catch our break.
All right, we're gonna
take in the morning.
We're gonna take a break, and once again, we'll head out in the morning at dawn. See you guys on the other side in like 5 minutes.